Here I'm going to show you how to add a shadow to your image. This is a great way to make your pictures pop, especially if you're doing thumbnails or graphics for online marketing. So here we have our cutout image. Now, if you haven't watched the video, I'll have it linked on how to cut out your images. You can do it in one click with Canva Pro. It's so easy. Then we're going to go edit image and scroll down a little bit until you see shadows. So we're going to go glow. And it's automatically going to glow it a little bit, but we can definitely adjust this. So we can change the size of the glow. We can change the transparency of how dark it is and the blur and the color. So if we have a darker background or a background that's on something, then sometimes we may want a white shadow. So we can add it to, so we can change it to white, and that's going to help make it pop a little bit. And we can change the transparency, we can change the blur, different things like that. And let's make this a little bit bigger. But see, you can definitely tell that it is going to pop a little bit more now. And you can also layer these. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to actually do multiple layers. So I'll do kind of a harsher dark with a little bit more transparency there with less of a blur. Actually, kind of blur. So like that, then we're going to hit apply. Then we're going to do another one. So another on top, then we're going to go edit image, glow, do the little gear. And this one we're going to do white. And then we're actually going to pop it right on top here. And we can adjust this a little bit. But let's see here. We can adjust that more, but we can do no blur, do a little bit more transparency, a little bit more size here, a little blur. Now see over here on this all looks lined up, but this side not so much. So we're gonna adjust this a little bit until we get it just right. It definitely changes the size when you do this, but that's okay. Now sometimes the quality does change a little bit. So if I add this again and show it side by side, you can definitely see that this one is a little bit more grainy. So I will put a third layer on top. So this is, definitely multi-steps, but I think it's so worth it. And I can definitely see a huge difference in my thumbnails when I do this. So we're just going to play around with the size and get it just right. Now it's a little bit off on this size as well. So we're going to go down a little bit. A little bit too much. And there we go. So there we have it. Now, if we look here, we can move this to the side, make it a little bit smaller so we can see a good contrast here. So if we have both of these images here side by side, which one is going to pop more to you? Which one you're going to see a difference and you're going to be like, oh, that definitely looks more professional. The left or the right? I think the left definitely is going to make it pop a lot more, especially when you're making thumbnails. You definitely want you to stand out. You can also adjust the image and make it more bright and a little bit more contrast to help you stand out as well. And what I like to do is then I will take these layers. So I will highlight them. So we have the 3 layers and then group them. So now I can move this anywhere I want. I can get rid of that. I can move this anywhere I want on this image, and they are always going to be grouped together. So that is one way that I use to make my images really pop. Another thing that you can do with this that's really good is, let me delete this. And I love doing this with my products. So if I have these products here, rather than just doing a flat lay image with them, it looks okay, but let me show you this. If we go edit image, then we're going to go glow, then we can adjust it a little bit. We can adjust the size and the blur. I like to definitely blur these a lot. Then hit apply. Look here at how different these look. Doesn't the one on the left really pop and really make it look like there's a shadow and it looks more professional, that it was professionally made? This one, some of the sides even blur into the background so you can't even see it. So I love doing this on product mock-ups that I have. And here's another example. So if we do it with this challenge here, we can go edit image, and glow, and then adjust it, and you can make it as much of a blur as you want, and you can adjust the size. You can also change the color, so if you want to do red behind it, you can do that as well. And they just look so good. Now it does, like you can see here, it did distort the image a little bit. So what I do is I just grab another one and I layer it right on top. Layer it right on top, there you go. And then you can group it as well, and then you can move it around. So these look so good, and it's a great way to make your products pop. Next up is 10 different text effects that you can do within Canva.